What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. We all know about what Katt Williams has said about Steve Harvey. It went viral, and it's not only just him. We also know what Corey Holcomb has said about Steve Harvey, right? We know that. I'm not even going to deal with what they said, because we know it had a lot to do with, Steve Harvey is fake. Steve Harvey is a fraud. Steve Harvey is not real. Steve Harvey will do anything for money. Things like that. Okay? Things like that. So now, here's what I would like to submit to you. Here is Gary Owen, the comedian on YouTube, Caucasian man, who has no dog in this fight. Right? I believe that he's relatively a nice guy. He's not problematic from what I can understand. He has no dog in the fight. I want you to hear listen to what I'm about to tell you, what Gary Owen has to say about Steve Harvey. Okay?
To this day, I don't think Steve ever knows why I quit his show. Some people don't know this. When Steve Harvey had the talk show, the Steve Harvey Show, he left Chicago and he moved it to L.A. And I remember I went on his show. First, I went on Steve's show to promote my reality show. And then afterwards, Steve goes, "Yo, I want to do some stuff with you, man. I want to work with you on some stuff." And I was like, "All right." And then I'll never forget, he hit my chest. Like, "I'm going to show you how to make some money, boy." I was like, "All right, show me." And then I flew to Atlanta. I met with Steve when he was filming Family Feud. We sat down in his trailer. We talked. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to work this deal out. I'm going to bring you on as my sidekick. We're moving my show from L.A. We're moving my show from Chicago to L.A." And I was like, dope. I was excited, man. And I thought it was going to be like Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon type thing. I thought that's what this was about. And I'll never forget, I went on his show again about 6 months later, and they brought me on to do some Memorial Day packing episode. It was funny. We were in a car showing what you should pack, what you shouldn't pack. And then Steve goes, "Yo, they reach out to you?" I said, "No, I haven't heard anything." He goes, "What?" And then I got a call the next week, and this guy was like, yeah, Steve told us everything. And I had a bad feeling about this from jump. So I met with one of Steve's producers, and we had lunch. And I'm sitting here going, I'm all geeked. I'm telling him all my ideas about the show and everything. And he's shooting everything down. He goes, no, we'll handle that. We'll handle the sketches. We'll do this. And I'm just going, I'm not knocking your writers or anything, but you ain't going to tell me that whatever you're coming up with is funnier than what I'm coming up with. Because this is my audience. Who's ever watched the Steve Harvey and that live audience and that's who I know how to make laugh. And now if you're going to put me on Colbert, okay, I'll fall back a little bit on that, but not Steve Harvey. And I know it's going to make Steve laugh. And this guy, who's a white dude, shooting down everything. And the way he was talking to me, it was almost like they're doing me a favor. And I remember I was so taken back. And obviously I'm not gonna get a hold of Steve with all this. He's trying to put the show together. So I just fell back. I agreed to do like a 2-week run. We got like 4 months to negotiate my deal. We're not getting no negotiating done. So I come in, and I'm still thinking this is going to be like Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon. I get there, and I got there early in the morning the first day. They got me backstage. I'm behind the stage. Nobody even sees me. And I'm announcing Steve, so I'm like the voice of God. You just hear my voice, but you don't see me. So I did the whole first week, and nobody ever saw me. I was in no sketches. They didn't include me in anything. I just basically went, "Give it up for Steve Harvey." I announced the guests, and then I just go back to my dressing room, and I sit. We would do like 2 episodes in a day, and I go sit. And I come back out, announce for 30 seconds, and go sit. And I go, this ain't what I thought this was. So then I told him, I said, "Am I going to do any sketches, anything?" And then the next week, they put me in a couple sketches, and I got to come out in front of the camera a couple times. And even when I got announced, the crowd was like, "Oh, snap, get on." And I just remember after the second week, we said, okay, we're ready to negotiate now. I've been there 2 weeks, and keep in mind, they were filming on Mondays and Fridays. I couldn't work on the weekends. I'm giving up all my stand-up money, but I looked at the bigger picture. I wanted to be a part of the show with Steve. Steve was telling me how maybe we can, when I'm on the show, we'll do a spinoff later. And we go negotiate, like, yeah, we want to do 2 more weeks with them. I'm getting paid like SAG minimum. Minimum wage is what I got paid. And I'm going, I can't do this for another 2 weeks. I've already lost a bunch of money. I lost 2 weekends of work. Now I'm going to lose 2 more weekends. And I don't know after these 2 weeks, are you going to hire me or not? I can't take a month off, basically. And I'll just never forget, we weren't shooting 4 days. We were shooting like 3 days a week. So on one, but it was spread out. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Friday we filmed. It was like I couldn't do any stand-up on the weekends. And I just remember the second week, I did 2 weeks of the Steve Harvey show. I did 1 day of Hip Hop Squares, the show D-Ray used to host. And I filmed 3 episodes in 1 day of Hip Hop Squares and made 4 times the money I made doing 2 weeks of the Steve Harvey show. And I go, well, this is backwards. I'm just a square. I'm one of 9, and I'm not even the host. And I made morning on Hip Hop Squares, and I did there's only 2 people on the show every week, me and Steve. And I go, they weren't even trying to hear anything I said. And keep in mind, this is not on Steve Harvey. This was the powers that be behind the scenes.
So let me talk about this, right? So Gary Owen talks about why he quit the Steve Harvey show. You've heard it. Here's what I want to discuss. It shows that, firstly, this person is a user, Steve Harvey. Of course, this is what happens in entertainment. But, as a person who's not a stand-up guy, and I've seen similar things happen like that, since I've been in Uganda, especially in the entertainment industry here. I had a guy that wanted me to do some videotape work for him with our studio. Of course, promising to pay. These guys will never pay. Then come back and ask you to use you again to do the same thing. All these promises of what could happen, and that's how people do you. They come to look for somebody and say, I can give you this, I can give you that, and then they never do it. Now, Steve Harvey, who did this with Gary Owen, first of all, he's not looking at the fact that Gary Owen is giving up his stand-up comedy money looking for an opportunity with you when you have the money to pay him to do that. You don't want to include him, okay, on your stuff. Now, because you're probably jealous of him, right? Let me explain what I mean. Let's listen to this Corey Holcomb clip of what Corey Holcomb said about Steve Harvey, about how he treated him.
Last time I hosted a show, Earthquake told the promoter, let the other nigga bring me up because I know why. Nigga, I'm rocking this nigga, and then you got to go up after that? Nigga, stop.
Hammer time.
I heard too much fuck shit about Steve.
Steve a hater, dog. He is not finna let you shine, dog. When I was a young comic, that nigga cutting my time down to 5 minutes because I was too funny.
Wow. He did JJ good.
What'd he do to JJ?
He damn near said he like blackballed him a little bit.
I believe him. I ain't never heard nothing good about no Steve Harvey. You got shit on your name, nigga, and I've had experiences with you, and I already know. Nigga, if you was around me, you would be uncomfortable because I'm not going to fold in front of you.
So Steve Harvey is threatened by anybody's talent. Anybody who he feels is more talented, he cannot have them in the same vicinity as him, right? A lot of people are like that. They're haters. If you're more talented than me, some reason I have to bring you down, right? I have to destroy what you have going on because I'm a sucker. I'm a hater. I will do anything to bring you down. That's the attitude. Whereas, hey, I can't just get something with you, and things like that. No, I gotta be a hater, right? And this is the same thing that Katt Williams is saying. Even Gary Owen starts off the video by saying, listen, Steve Harvey is not an approachable guy. All right? He's not a nice guy. Let me play this clip of Gary Owen saying that Steve Harvey is not a nice person, right?
It's so weird. Like, to know Steve and Cedric, they're so different, but then they've done so much together. Like, Cedric is like the guy that'll walk in the room, say hi to everybody, very personable, very approachable. And Steve just isn't that guy, you know? And I'm not bad-mouthing Steve in this. He's just not approachable. Like, you can't just walk up to Steve and be like, what's up, man? And you're not going to get that immediate love you get. Steve's going to be like, whoa, hold on. Who are you?
Now, this is going to sound very similar of what DC Curry is going to say what Katt Williams said about him.
So Katt told me that what all that was about was he was in a mall with his sons, ran up on Steve, and his sons recognized Steve from television. So they were excited, asked Steve for an autograph. And Steve basically told them, according to Katt now, you know, get the hell out of here.
Was Katt famous at the time?
Katt wasn't famous at the time. So his son said, Katt Williams, this is what Katt said. His son said, Katt is my daddy. And supposedly now, you know, there's just one side story.
Sure. We're going with the Katt story.
Steve said, who the fuck is Katt? And so Katt told his sons, don't worry about it, come on. Fast forward down the road 7 or 8 years.
Wow, people don't forget.
And Katt never.
All right? All of this to have money, to be a hater. For me, it's not worth it. To use people, there's so much money out there. Why would you need to use somebody? You know, use some people just so that you can have more money. Firstly, you're not thinking about this guy has his own bills. He's giving up all of that to get something with you, and you never intend on giving it to the guy. He goes to Hip Hop Squares and gets more money, and not the host. It's ridiculous. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shady Duke Jackson, back at it again for another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Scratch the bell. We're out.